Well, hey fans, welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Spoilers, and today we're talking spoilers for Jessica Jones Season 2.
Run away!
Now, Jessica Jones Season 2 is an okay season. I believe I gave it a 3.31 out of 5 over on the blog. It was really slow, not really much going on, but I'll get into the breakdown of it. The villain this season was Jessica's mom, Alisa Jones. It turns out in that car crash, only her brother and her dad died. Her mom also survived, and she was given strength slightly greater than Jessica Jones. That was her ability from HGH, the company that was working on them. And the thing about her is the car crash actually still damaged her brain. So even though she was healed and got these powers, her brain chemistry is not that great, so she gets angry very easily. And in what is probably my favorite episode of the season, and I think I recall this is my favorite, aka I Want Your Cray Cray, this episode delves into the past and you find out that Jessica Jones's first major boyfriend was killed by Jessica Jones's mom when she escaped the facility looking for her daughter. She bashed his head against a wall, and it just, overall, she was a lackluster villain. I mean, I love finding out, how they get to meet and getting to explore that relationship. What does it mean when your mother's a murderer and has powers? So, I mean, that was a good aspect, but there should have been a extra villain on top of that for them to both take out and her mom died to get some kind of redeeming quality. Because her mom, in my eyes, she was never fully redeemed. Also, and with Jessica's mom, there's this whole half-baked love thing with her and the doctor that experimented on her, how she fell in love with him, and how she tells Jessica about how her and her father were on the brink of divorce anyway. So her moving on isn't that big of a deal. Like, they didn't really have sex that much or whatever. But this doctor has discovered a way to basically give people superpowers. Why he's in hiding and hasn't taken this information to Hydra or S.H.I.E.L.D. or, whatever's up S.H.I.E.L.D. or the government, because considering that there's an Avengers team, the government wants to create their own heroes. I mean, they did it with Captain America. General Ross tried to do it in the first Incredible Hulk movie, and he ended up getting Abomination. I mean, the fact that he's in hiding makes no sense. Like, he can easily go to these people and strike a deal to make more enhanced humans. But that was my gripe with him. And he ends up dying, so, man. But overall, episode structure was fine. But like I said, aka I Want Your Cray Cray was the best. That you delve into Jessica Jones and Trish's past. You find out this was Trish right after she did her Patsy show at the height of her music career when she was addicted to drugs. You get to find out how Jessica was in college and she had an argument with Trish that led her down this path where she met her boyfriend who wanted to start a club called Club Alias. And after his death, that's where she got the idea to become a private detective and find scumbags who, do wrong. And that's how she got the name Alias Investigation, so from him. But that was overall the best episode of the season, learning more about these characters' past. And with any Netflix show, usually the ones that delve into the past are the best season, with Daredevil, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and The Punisher. Whenever they delve into the characters' past, it always makes for a great episode. Now, let's start with Jessica. Now, Jessica Jones at the beginning of the second season, she's pretty much the same character. After all the events of the first season in Defenders, you would think she would have changed somewhat, but she really hasn't. She's still drinking a lot uncontrollably. She's still having a whole lot of sex. And you would think after all those events, she would start to grow more as a person. But she really hasn't. You can tell she's a little broken inside, and this season kind of handles that. And toward the end, her outlook on life changes somewhat, but I just hope by Defender Season 2 or Jessica Jones Season 3, there's more growth from her and more of making her more like her comic book counterpart. And speaking of comics, if you'll notice, the most popular Netflix Marvel shows are Daredevil and Punisher. Both are very well done, but I think what really adds to that is that those heroes are in their outfits. Daredevil has a costume, Punisher has a costume. Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and Iron Fist do not have costumes, and I believe if by Defender Season 2 or their next individual seasons, if they were in their costumes, fan excitement for those shows would increase somewhat. So, there's that. Another good thing about this episode, not the episode of the season, was Jerry Hogarth. Find out that she has ALS. We get to learn more about her and how she's finally breaking out on her own. and starting her own firm. And her storyline I thought was pretty great. What happened to her and how she dealt with it, with those people conning her, trying to heal her, and that was great. Kilgrave, as you saw in the trailers, Kilgrave does show up in this season, but he's in it for like one episode, and it's a stupid episode after Jessica kills this one evil guard who is torturing her mother, and he's come to start haunting her brain. I thought it was going to be like a season-long thing about how her killing Kilgrave is actually affecting her psyche, but it wasn't. It was a one-episode thing, and it wasn't that great. They really didn't need it. Maul, he was fine, but he was like used throughout the whole season. It just seemed he was like an addict the first season. This season he doesn't really. I mean, he just keeps trying to do stuff to not become an addict anymore. Like he's addicted to sex. He starts fucking Trish. Sorry for the language, but and things like that. But he was fine. I didn't quite hate him. He got a new haircut at the end, which was interesting to see. And he's working with Jessica's frenemy kind of guy, Chen. Chang this season was a waste. I thought they were going to use him to like greater sense. I actually at one point thought he was going to be the bad guy, but he wasn't. He's just some rival private investigation firm who wants to absorb Jessica. She says no, and he ends up trying to kill her mom at one point. And it's good that he doesn't like superpowered people because of the damage they can do, but still, he was wasted. He was like a whiny brat this whole season. Hopefully they develop him more in season 3. But in season 2, Chang was just meh. Trish this season, she was annoying as hell. She kept bugging Jessica about her powers. You don't ever use your power to help people. It's like, yes, she does. The Defenders happened. You were in that show. She was using her powers to help people. And she was trying to get powers herself. And in the end, we saw she actually did get cat-like reflexive powers. We don't know to what extent yet, but this means in season 3, she will become Hellcat. And that's who her character, the superhero alias of her character in the comics. So, and her and Jessica are at outs because Trish was actually the one who killed Jessica's mom to try and save Jessica from going down this path. So in season 3, they made butt heads as enemies and eventually reconcile as friends. And maybe Hellcat will join the Defenders as well. Hopefully it'll be Hellcat and Punisher who join in Defenders season 2. But overall, what else did I think about this season? Trisha's mom, don't really like her, but you didn't like her in season 1 either, so nothing, her flip-floppiness is just meh. We still don't care about her character. The reason, like I said on the blog, it was 3.31. Overall, the overall connective to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. With these Netflix shows, there isn't a lot. There's like one barely mentioned that she made a team-up effort in the Defenders. They barely mention that. They don't mention any other heroes. They're always talking about, Jessica, you're the only one that can stop her. You're the only one. In the Netflix universe, definitely she's not the only one. Luke Cage can stop her mom. Daredevil can stop her mom. Punisher. All these other... sorry. Iron Fist. He can stop her mom. So many people can stop her mom. They're making it seem like Jessica is the only hero. And if you expand even greater than that, Captain America, Iron Man, Scarlet Witch, Vision, War Machine, all these other people, all these other heroes, they can stop her mom. And they keep mentioning, they call them superpowered individuals instead of enhanced, which the films generalize that the term for people with powers is enhanced humans. But they don't use that at all, which I don't know why. One major reference to the films is that they mentioned the raft. So they say her mom's going to get sent to the raft after they lock her up. And the thing with this is that we don't know when it was built. It's mentioned in Captain America Civil War as the place where they send enhanced bad guys or heroes who don't sign the Accords, apparently. We don't really know. But we don't know when this is built. And this is the thing with the Marvel Netflix shows. We don't really know the time period they're set in. We know it's after the first Avengers movie because in all those first seasons they mentioned the Battle of New York and how it destroyed most of the city and how these people were getting contracts to rebuild it. But after that, we really don't know when these episodes are set. Now, with Jessica Jones Season 2 mentioning the raft and taking place after the Defenders, we know this is sometime after Captain America, the Winter Soldier, and Avengers Age of Ultron, because the events in Age of Ultron really set up Civil War, so we know the raft was built sometime during that period. It didn't exist during the first Avengers film because the only villain that really survived was Abomination. He was sent to like a cryo prison in Alaska, if I'm remembering correctly. But They do mention the raft, but Jessica's mom never makes it there, of course. And another thing, this series, with the timeline and connections, they don't mention the Sokovia Accords. Like, are the Sokovia Accords only for the heroes or all superpowered people? I mean, since none of the Netflix heroes are members of the Avengers, did they not have to sign the Accords? Is the Accords only for people who join the Avengers team? So, they really should explain that at some point. But overall, it's an okay season. I recommend you watch it if you want to stay up to date on all the Netflix shows. I have the full season review up on my blog, flicksfrog.wordpress.com. You can run over there and check it out. For all the individual episode rankings, what I rated every episode, you can check me out on Stardust. I'm over there at FlixFrog. You can find me, and I do a lot of other reviews for other TV shows and movies as well. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Google+. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. I could definitely use a lot more subscribers. Not sure what the next Let's Talk Spoilers will be, but I'm sure I'll get it to you soon. And until next time, I'll be seeing you.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you click the FlixFrog logo to subscribe, and don't forget to check out our other awesome videos.